Welcome to the fourth blog post in my series about building a future hybrid work model for your organization. My name is Mary Daly, and I'm focused on helping leaders make confident decisions about difficult and complex problems in their organization. Here's where we came from in video number 3. To navigate the complexity of the many issues required to build a future hybrid work model, we need a simple and robust framework. I described the architecture of this model, the shape, the colors, the interlocking aspect of the elements, and the MECE design principle that I followed, mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. So here goes a more detailed description of each of the elements. I won't define each block, but rather I'm going to array the questions that led me to create the category in the model. In terms of sequence, I'm going to go outside in. That is, I'll start with the external, the organization's reason for being, customers. It's too easy when we do work on an organization to get too deep, too soon on the internal stuff and lose track of why we exist. So let's start with the customers. Who and where are your customers? Are you in a B2B world, B2C world, or both? Has the composite of your customers that you serve changed in a virtual world? Have changes to your business model during the pandemic led to new or different customers? Product or service delivery model. Do you serve your customers in person, virtually, or both? How effective are the virtual techniques that you developed this past year for both selling and for serving? And how do your customers now want to consume what you've got to sell? Real estate assets. What are the implications of a hybrid or more flexibly hybrid model on your real estate assets? Will you still make that big move you've been planning? Will you sell or lease the building that you foresee now only using perhaps half of? Digital technology. Now that your IT infrastructure is surviving, functional, or hopefully thriving, what's the roadmap for future tech investments that's going to create seamless possibilities for either or both home and work? How do you ensure the tight collaborations that are required between leaders of IT, HR, facilities, and the rest of the organization? Nature of work. What is the work to be done in your organization? What are the features of the work that determine whether on-site or remote work enable the best productivity and output? What are the principal level guidelines that will enable leaders to tailor their local situations without creating the tax code of who's allowed to work where and when? Are you willing to unpack roles into smaller activities or tasks in order to optimize flexibility? Workforce strategy, certainly a favorite category of mine. At perhaps the most meta level, does your evolution towards a more hybrid work model also create more interest and possibility in creating a workforce ecosystem, broadening your workforce view into including more contingent workers, contractors, partners? With geographic or location boundaries for your workforce fading or blurring, where and how do you need to tailor your key talent management programs? I could easily see how this category could be unpacked into a whole offshoot model with room for the many dimensions of workforce strategy and management: talent acquisition, compensation, career development, etc. Employee experience. This category of employee experience, it's a huge driver at the moment, with many organizations surveying extensively to gauge employee sentiment on hybrid work alternatives. In the design of a future model, where and how does employee opinion fit? Of course, the point of hybrid is how and where employees work, so the employee experience is at the heart of hybrid. I was toying with the idea of calling this category employee value proposition to emphasize that this is a strategic business model, and it's about leader's responsibility for designing the operating model and for creating the conditions within which work can best be achieved. Workplace design. What are the drivers to which workplace design has to respond? And what is their relative importance and priority? Productivity, collaboration, belonging, health and safety, to name only a few. How might the workplace be designed to ensure it is inherently adaptive, flexibly imagined, and built to respond to emergent work policies and the evolution of individual, team, and employer needs? That concludes the run-through of the individual elements of Model I Squared V1. Up next, I'm going to move from concept to practice. I'm going to share some ideas on alternate ways to practically and productively engage your teams in designing your future hybrid work model. In the meantime, if you'd like to reach out or talk about creating a path towards your future hybrid work model, you can reach me through email, my website, or LinkedIn. You might also find that my previous posts on LinkedIn are going to provide some useful additional context. Until the next time.